Of the Brick Township Council, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on February 8, 2019. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. At this time, please silence or turn off your cell phones. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero. Councilwoman DeYoung. Here. Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilman Halloran.
Here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Zapsik.
Here.
Thank you.
And everyone who is not currently standing, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence, please. Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the April 30th meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Council Vice President Crate, second by Councilman Mumolo. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
You have a number of presentations this evening, hence the crowd. We're going to move through them one at a time. So at this time, I would like to call up Mayor Ducey and Chief Riccio for our police promotions and swearing in.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're here for the purpose of swearing in 2 new officers and promoting 3. The 3 officers which are being promoted are the result of 3 retirements. I'd like to acknowledge the retirees, Lieutenant Robert Hine, who couldn't be with us tonight, Lieutenant Michael Zalizzi, and the most recent Sergeant Art Rivaldo, who I believe is here, correct? Art? Yep. So I wish you all the best. All right, there's a few of them to go through, so I'm not going to sit here and give a long speech. I'm sure you'll all be happy about that. But I need to first thank, as always, the mayor, the business administrator, and all the members of the council who continually make sure that our department has the right tools and the right amount of personnel to do the job adequately. So as I call your names up, we're going to start with the 2 hirees. Feel free to bring up your families with you to be up here with you. The first is Eric Talty, badge number 303. I forgot the Talties are a very big family. So probably should have started at 6. All right, Patrolman Eric Talty, badge 303, is a 2009 graduate of Brick Memorial High School and obtained his associate's degree in business from Ocean County College. Eric graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy Special 1 Academy and started his law enforcement career in May of 2013 as a Special 1 with the Point Pleasant Beach Police Department. In May of 2014, Eric graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy Special 2 class while continuing to work for the Point Pleasant Beach Police Department. In March of 2015, Eric was hired by the Ocean Gate Police Department and attended the Ocean County Police Academy waiver class, obtaining his full police certification. Eric is the son of retired Sergeant Talty, badge number 112. Eric is here tonight with his father John, his mother Linda, and brothers Gary and Kevin. Eric will begin the field training program immediately.
solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of police officer according to the best of my ability. I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next is Patrolman Ryan Marmer, badge number 304. Okay, I can't talk tonight. Patrolman Ryan Marmer, badge 304, is a 2015 graduate of Howell High School and a graduate of the Ocean County Police Academy Special 1 class. Ryan started his law enforcement career as a Special 1 with the Bayhead Police Department. In 2017, Ryan graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy Special 2 Academy, also for the Bayhead Police Department. Ryan has worked full-time as a Special 2 for the Bayhead Police Department since his graduation from the Academy in May of 2017. Ryan will need to attend the Ocean County Police Academy waiver class to obtain his full certification. Ryan is a nephew of Brick Detective Mark Byrne, badge number 177. Ryan is here today with his father Gary, mother Lori, sister Jordan, and brother Logan. Okay, next is our promotions. First will be Sergeant John Gordon, badge 237. Sergeant John Gordon, 237, is a 1998 Moorestown High School graduate. Sergeant Gordon served in the United States Marine Corps and completed one tour in Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom II. John was hired by our department December 18th of 2007 and graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy municipal class. Since John was hired, he has been assigned to the Patrol Division and has been a member of the CERT team since 2011. From February of this year until present, John has filled in as an acting sergeant on the midnight shift. Sergeant Gordon is the recipient of several awards, including the Honorable Service Award, Grand Cordon Award, Meritorious Service, and Hurricane Sandy Service Award. John is married to his wife Dawn and has 3 children, Gia, Daniela, and Nina. Sergeant Gordon will be assigned to the midnight shift B-side Squad G as a patrol supervisor. Okay, next, Sergeant Anthony DeMeo, badge 194. Okay, Sergeant Anthony DeMeo, badge 194, is a 1986 graduate of Brick Township High School and holds an associate's degree from Ocean County College. Anthony was hired by our department August 20th of 2001 and graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy January of 2002. From 2002 till present, Sergeant DeMeo has worked in the Patrol Division. From February of 2019 until today, Sergeant DeMeo is filled in as an acting sergeant on the day shift. Anthony is the recipient of the Meritorious Service Award, Life Saving Award, and several chief certificates and letters of commendation. Anthony is married to his wife Mary and has 4 children, Anthony Jr., Gianna, Nico, and Sophia. Sergeant DeMeo will be assigned to the day shift A-side Squad C as a patrol supervisor.
Impartially and justly perform all the duties of the office
And finally, Sergeant Joseph Rossi, badge 240. Sergeant Joseph Rossi, badge 240, graduated Brick Memorial High School in 2002. Sergeant Rossi started his law enforcement career as a Special II officer with the Point Pleasant Beach Police Department in December of 2006 and graduated the Ocean County Police Academy basic class in May of 2007. Joe was hired by the Brick Police Department December 18th of 2007. During his career with our department, Sergeant Rossi has served as a member of the CERT Team, Honor Guard, Marine Unit, and Motorcycle Unit. In April of 2019 to May of 2019, Joe filled in as an acting sergeant on the day shift. Sergeant Rossi is a past treasurer of PBA 230 and has chaired the PBA 230 Toys for Tots Committee. Joe is the recipient of a number of awards, which include 2016 Patrolman of the Year, Honorable Service Award, multiple Grand Cordon Awards, multiple Meritorious Service Awards, and a Life Saving Award, and also is a recipient of the Hurricane Sandy Service Award. Sergeant Rossi was also recognized in 2017 by the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for deploying to Puerto Rico to assist following Hurricane Maria. Joe is married to his wife Christine and has 3 children, Mia, Ava, and Luca. Sergeant Rossi will be assigned to day shift A-side Squad D as a patrol supervisor. Okay, so that concludes our ceremony. I would like to thank you all for being here and also congratulate our new recruits and our 3 new sergeants. Have a good night.
Thank you, Chief. We're going to move on to the Historic Preservation Award. Those who would like to exit, we ask that you use the exit door at the rear of the courtroom, not the one that you came in.
Here, put it right on the back of my chair, Sarah. Okay. You're trying to go to the
You guys
back.
want to kind of, we'll have this.
And you try and go to the back.
You can come up here. Are you Mike? Hi.
Everybody from Cedar Creek?
If you want to, yeah.
I think it is cooling off a little bit. It's cooling off a little bit now that all these people feel better. I think they brought some people. Yeah.
There's pictures. You good?
We're good.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Christine Shees. I am the chairperson of the Brick Township Historic Preservation Commission. Each year, the Brick Township Historic Preservation honors a structure in Brick Township that's remained true to its original construction. Tonight, on behalf of my fellow commissioners, I'm presenting the 2019 Historic Preservation Award to the Cedarcroft Club, Inc. It's the association that operates the Cedarcroft Clubhouse. We have Mike Nolan, the Cedarcroft Club president, along with many other officers and community members here with us tonight. The Cedarcroft Clubhouse is located at 347 Cedarcroft Drive along the beautiful Metedeconk shoreline. The site was selected by the Cedarcroft community founding members to protect it from development and provide a scenic waterfront location for future use. The clubhouse was designed by Joseph Jomo, one of the original Cedarcroft homeowners. It's built in a rustic log cabin style so that it would blend in with the other homes in Cedarcroft. It's approximately 70 years old and consists of a meeting room with a fieldstone fireplace and a beautiful view of the Metedeconk River. Due to the dedication of the Cedarcroft Club, this small oasis provides a beautiful meeting location as well as access to a gated beach and newly restored marina for its members for future years to come. We thank the Cedarcroft Club for the preservation of their clubhouse, and in recognition of their efforts, present them with the 2019 Historic Preservation Award. Thank you.
On behalf of Cedarcroft Club and our entire community, I want to just take a moment and thank the Historical Preservation Society for this award. This is a true community award. You said the organization has been around since around 1940. Our clubhouse was built in the early 50s, and it is a beautiful place along the banks of the Metedeconk River that we put our heart and soul into. Wonderful place, our little piece of slice of brick along the banks of the Metedeconk. So thank you very much for the award and recognizing all the hard work from our community.
We're now going to recognize our Students of the Month. Would Council Vice President Crate join the mayor at the podium, please?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Each month, the mayor and council likes to take a moment to congratulate the students of the month for both Brick Township High School and Brick Memorial, and show our appreciation for all the hard work that they've done in their respective grades. So for Brick Township High School, we have for grade 10, Sabrina Hawk and James Bixaman. And for grade 12, we have Haley Saltman and Jada Lopez.
And I just want to say, so earlier today, Brick Township High School had this great Memorial Day ceremony where they honor the students who are going to join the military upon their graduation from Brick Township High School. And Jada Lopez is going to VMI for ROTC program, followed by the Air Force. So congratulations, Jada.
For Brick Memorial High School, we have grade 9, Olivia Holtz and Tess Witter. For grade 10, we have David McCarlin and Devin Young. Grade 11, we have Brianna McBride and James Thornley. And for grade 12, we have Samantha Lepresti and Tyler Sindel.
Mayor and Council Vice President Crate, if you will stay up there, we're going to recognize the Brick Township School District Teacher of the Year, Kelly Sorbonne.
The Township of Brick is fortunate to have many fine, outstanding individuals who are dedicated to the education of our young residents. One such educator is Kelly Sorbonne, a 7th grade math and science teacher at Lake Riviera Middle School, who has been selected as Brick Township's 2019 Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Sorbonne received her Bachelor's of Science degree from Kutztown University, where she majored in elementary education and minored in psychology. Since she was a little girl, she always wanted to be a teacher and would only purchase the teacher's edition books at her school's annual book fairs. As Mrs. Sorbonne's love of teaching continued to grow, it developed into a revolutionary environment of positive learning that has permeated throughout the school and beyond. She has shared those teaching methods with other teachers and administrators and has given a presentation to the Ocean County Superintendent. Mrs. Sorbonne sums up her teaching philosophy on the acronym TIME: teach, inspire, motivate, and empower. And she tries to instill in her students a lifelong love of learning. Being a highly passionate educator who believes in her students, Mrs. Sorbonne challenges them to set their own goals and become in charge of their learning experience. Mrs. Sorbonne has made such a positive impact on the students at Lake Riviera Middle School that she was recently presented the Teacher Who Touched My Life award by one of her students at the Junior National Honor Society ceremony. For all of these reasons, I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean and the state of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim do hereby proclaim, when is it? Wednesday, May 29th, tomorrow, May 29th, to be Kelly Serbone Day, and I encourage all Brick Township residents to join me in congratulating Mrs. Serbone.
So I'd like to speak for the council, and those of you who know my background, I'm also a middle school teacher, so I understand where you're coming from. So Kelly Serbone, Brick Township's Teacher of the Year from Lake Riviera Middle School. She's a math and science teacher, but more importantly, her approach to growth mindset and the social and emotional growth of all of her students is really what I think makes her stand out. She has a classroom where mistakes are okay, and you're valued just as you are, and you're taught to embrace challenges that come your way, and that you have to have persistence in the face of setbacks. And I feel like the way she teaches, she's showing her students that the journey they are on is really only beginning of great things to come. Ms. Serbone sets the example for her students, but more importantly, she cares about them. And that's how children will ultimately learn the most, not only about the subject area that she's teaching, but about themselves as well. So the council and I would like to join with Mayor Ducey in congratulating her on receiving her District Teacher of the Year award.
I will never pass up an opportunity to speak. So I just basically want to say that I am very grateful for this opportunity. I absolutely love my job. People say that when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That's actually a fallacy. I work harder because I feel like my students deserve all that I have to offer. So I work for a fabulous school. Miss McNamara was one of the leaders in my building, and she always supported me. Dr. Anderson is my current, well, sort of current principal, and she has always supported me. This district, this school, the school that I've been in, I hope that I retire there because I can't imagine working anywhere else. They have done nothing but allow me to believe and do whatever I've ever wanted to do for the sake of these children in Brick Township. So I am honored and grateful and hope that I have many more years to come. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, we're going to move on to the National Junior Honor Society recipients. Councilman Fosman?
Thank you.
We're going to do Lake Riviera Middle School National Junior Honor Society first. Would Mary Beth Prince, the advisor, come up?
I'd just like to say that the National Junior Honor Society is a national premier organization established to recognize outstanding middle-level students. Much more than honor roll, New Jersey High School serves to honor those students who have demonstrated excellence in the areas of scholarship, service, leadership, character, and citizenship. Common requirements just include maintaining a high grade point average. There's a minimum of 3.5, all A's and B's, and becoming good citizens. The New Jersey High School requires some sort of school service to the community, schools, or other. So we're here to honor them, and I have their names right here. And we'll start with Christopher Baylies, Andriana Bonacore, Kathleen Chandler, Mackenzie Collins, Andrew Davis, wait for it to come up. Okay. Kathleen Delanoy, Amber Gardner, Henry Gardner, Dominic Giovine, Kaylee Good, Savannah Gross, Jason Hatfield, Quinn Hensel, Kyle Kukigan, Emily Kuzemchek, Ryan Cure, Darren LaFay, Gianna Martone, Matthew Mojeri, Maya Monahan, Summer Pandolf, Anthony Thomas, and Krista Valise.
For Veterans Memorial Middle School, would Sarah Dunn join the mayor and Councilman Fosman at the podium, please?
Okay, the inductees are Brielle Alston, Emily Andradis, Luana Arzario, Madeline Barrera, Isabel Bartolofo, I messed that one up, Brooke Barteros, Ava Boyle, Sydney Brody, Shelby Brunotti, William Burns, Nicholas Carabeda, Sophie Daly, Joseph Carabeda, Brooke D'Alameda, Dylan Demarest, Emily Denziffer, AJ Manitrout, McKenna Ellis, Emily Farrell, Erica Gonzalez Fuentes, Taween Islam, Monica Campbell, Louis Keish, Ariana Lajara, Tia Passiano Langsworth, Daniel Lynn, Leela Lindquist, Gianna Levio, Enzo Manfredi, Vincent Martino, Zachary McCafferty, Isabel McKelvey, Christian McWade, Kira Miley, Emma Parkut, Stacy Pello, Charles Panato, Mason Pernick, Gianna Platt, Riley Rodriguez, Katie Rogers, Ella Scarpelli, Kately Steele, Shamela Sultana, Frank Taylor, Patricia Williams, Maria Zulkarnain. I hope I didn't tear the names up too much, you know.
And then we have St. Dominic's School. Would Jacqueline Miller please join the mayor and Councilman Fosman at the podium, please?
We have the reading of the names for St. Dominic's School. Ethan Alcacid, Salvatore Bellamo, Lorraine Case, Carmen D'Altero, Megan Ebinger, Caroline Felser, Tony Fay, Mitch Nat, Andrew Jenks, Riley Kerman, Allison Louisi, Thomas Machi Fortin, Tristan McFarlane, Brian McKeon, Joseph Miller, Julie Menarick, Matthew Moses, Daniel Wynn, Giovanni Pescatore, Andriana Tobiah, Matthew Wicks, Grace Wolfshinson, and Drew Wrightington.
going to hold for 2 minutes for anyone who would like to, who does not wish to say. Again, please exit by the door at the rear of the courtroom, and we'll resume in about 2 minutes. Alrighty, the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, please.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. I just want to announce that resolutions 415 and 416 are being held over until the June 11th meeting and will not be considered tonight. Resolution 41.
Recognize District Teacher of the Year, Kelly Serbone.
Thank you. Council Vice President Crate.
This resolution recognizes Kelly Serbone, a math and science teacher at Lake Riviera Middle School, as Brick Township's Teacher of the Year.
Thank you. Resolution 42.
Authorize 2019 temporary capital budget.
Thank you. Mrs. Bergen.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the temporary capital budget based on the completed capital bond ordinances that will be introduced later this evening.
Thank you. Resolution 43.
Authorize cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receivables.
Thank you. Mrs. Bergen.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receivables in programs where the funds cannot be spent within the contract period.
Thank you. Resolution 44.
Authorize cancellation of stale dated checks.
Councilman Halloran, please.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the township to cancel outstanding checks that are considered stale, dated, in the amount of $106.43.
Thank you. Resolution 45.
Authorize refund from police road job account.
Thank you. Councilman Mamalo, please.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the refund from the Township's Police Road Job Trust account to Mid-Atlantic Construction in the amount of $695.
Thank you. Resolution 46.
Authorize receipt of bids Bayside Park improvements.
Thank you. Council Vice President Crate.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for improvements to Bayside Park. The park improvements including enlarging the playground area, installing new safety surface, creating a new picnic area, the installation of a new gazebo, as well as cantilever shade structures, benches, and bait tables along the decking on the perimeter. The park will also feature cornhole games and a labyrinth concrete patio area for yoga and other general meditation activities. Sod and irrigation will be installed as well.
Thank you. Resolution 47.
Authorize receipt of bids Beverly Beach area roadway improvements.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for roadway improvements in the Beverly Beach area of town. And they include Beverly Beach Road as well as portions of South Beverly Drive. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 48, please.
Authorize receipt of bids resurfacing and drainage improvements Dennis Drive, Algonquin, and Towhee Trails, and Dennis Drive water main replacement.
Thank you. Mayor?
And this is another one we're going out to bid again for additional road projects as well as a water main replacement that we're doing in conjunction with the MUA. And it is for Dennis Drive, Algonquin, and Towhee Trails, and then the water main replacements on Dennis Drive as well first. Obviously, we're doing the water main replacement, and then we'll do the paving afterwards, unlike the county with Manalocan Road.
Thank you. Resolution 49.
Authorize award of bid public safety uniforms.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for public safety uniforms to Action Uniform Company, Egg Harbor Township, for an amount not to exceed $90,000 per year, with funds to be certified prior to each order. Bid notices were mailed to 12 prospective bidders, of which 4 picked up bid packages. It is the recommendation of the Deputy Police Chief to award the bid as a whole to Action Uniform Company, which was the only company that submitted a bid for all categories. This will be a one-year contract commencing May 29th, 2019, with an option to award a second year pending satisfactory performance and recommendation from the police department. The bid allows for the purchase of uniforms for police officers, emergency medical technicians, crossing guards, and special police officers. Resolution 410.
Authorize award of bid Fall Fest food vendor concession.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dion.
Yes, thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of bid to My Three Cobb's Corn Roasting, Brick, New Jersey, in the amount of $3,040 to provide food trucks for the 2019 Fall Fest event. The vendor will provide 20 different food and refreshment options at Fall Fest scheduled for October 19th at Windward Beach. Notice to bidders were advertised in the newspaper and on the township website. In addition, 10 vendors were notified from our bidders list, and 2 potential bidders requested bid packages. 1 bid was received and was determined to be in compliance with all administrative requirements and bid specifications.
Thank you. Resolution 411, please.
Authorize award of bid Summerfest food truck vendor remaining categories.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran, please.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for a Summerfest food truck vendor in the specialty category to My Three Cobb's Corn Roasting, Brick, New Jersey, in the amount of $1,304. The township had established a minimum bid of $750 per food category. All previous categories were bid and awarded. This category had no bidders and was re-advertised. Notice to bidders was advertised in the newspaper and on the township website. In addition, 95 vendors were notified from our bidders list, and 2 potential bidders requested bid packages. 2 bids were received, and 1 was rejected due to an error in the submission. The bid received from My Three Cobb's was determined to be in compliance with all administrative requirements and the bid specifications.
Thank you. Resolution 412.
Authorize award of contract concession stand at Brick Beach 1.
Thank you. Mrs. Bergen?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a contract in the amount of $5,000 to All Around Concessions in Brick for the operation of Brick Beach 1 food concession stand. The contract period begins May 29th and ends on September 30th of this 2019.
Thank you. Resolution 413.
Authorize to negotiate contract firework exhibitions.
Council Vice President Crate, please.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the Township Business Administrator to directly negotiate with potential fireworks vendors for these services at Township events this season. Notice to bidders was advertised in the newspaper and on the Township website. On May 21st, the Township received bids for this service, with 2 bids received. Both bids contained errors and must be rejected.
Thank you. Resolution 414.
Authorize change order number 1 airport track bikeway expansion NJDOT project.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a change order with no modification to the contract amount for the airport tracked bikeway expansion project. During construction, the project was modified to address the need to reconstruct an existing timber tie wall that was deteriorated and in need of reconstruction. The modification was enabled through a reduction of unused quantities of stone and dust for the bikeway.
Thank you. Resolution 417, please.
Authorize special events permit PC Richard and Son tent sale.
Thank you. Councilman Mamala, please.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes special events permit for PC Richardson Son to conduct a tent sale on June 6th through the 17th between the hours of 10 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 418, tax collector, Mrs. Bergen.
Thank you. 18A is a redemption of a tax sale certificate of Block 236.25, Lot 39, which is in Mandalay.
Thank you. That ends the consent agenda. Open to council for questions or comments.
Yes, Council President, I do have a question.
Yes, Councilman
I
Thompson.
know we have a temporary capital budget coming up, and we did talk about it in different committees. And one thing I noticed is that I've been bringing up for a few years about a truck wash for DPW, and I know the value of one garbage truck is $280,000. And also, there's another truck that we're is on the list is for $230,000. So that's another rear loader garbage truck. So for that's $510,000. If we don't purchase them, we could probably do an automatic truck wash there. I was hoping that the mayor and my council colleagues would consider taking those two out for this year, because since 2012, since I've been here, we've been buying trucks and everything for DPW. We just put in buildings down there with roofs on them to protect the trucks now, and a truck washer really would protect the trucks and make them last longer. At these prices right here, if we get a few more years out of a truck, it really wouldn't matter. And the money that we do spend now hiring people to wash trucks and to even wash the first aid ambulances, because they can't wash them in there, wash them by hand right now at their place. This would be a great opportunity to do this, because we spend, I would estimate, without the police cars, I'll take them out because they go to a regular car wash, I would say we probably spend $75,000 a year just washing cars. So if we get something for around $500,000, 75 a year, by 6 years you own that. And we'll be recycled water, trucks will be well maintained, and when they go to the Ocean County dumps over here, there's all that bacteria and everything, so when they run it through and our mechanics work on it, it's an option. It really, because they can run it right through, get all that stuff off the truck and do it. Right now, we only get the trucks washed on Friday. So if these guys are working on a truck on Thursday, that thing's full of crap. And I know we do have sprays there, but it just goes right on the ground. This would be recycled, and the water would be reused, and the trucks would last longer. That's been a proven fact, so I just wanted to point that out. And I think that it would be an excellent investment. And one more thing, which is it here? Oh, number 12, 412, it's the concession stand at Brick Beach 1. I know we own the building there, and I know you negotiated, nobody wanted to take the building, the food concession stand. So are we responsible for everything in that building? Is it our cost if anything breaks down, heating, everything, lighting, or anything that happens?
Well, there is no equipment in that building right now. This vendor is going to have to provide all of the
All of the
equipment,
stuff?
refrigerator, stovetop, microwave, all of that needs to be provided by the vendor.
So we supply just the whole building, roof, everything. We take care of heating and air conditioning, right? Or
We
they
do
take care
provide
of
the
it?
maintenance.
We take care of that as part of the maintenance.
Correct.
So they're giving us $5,000 for the season, and then they got to load it up.
That is correct.
Okay. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else from council with questions? Okay, may I have a motion and a second and the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to public for questions or comments on the resolution. Mr. Foster, we haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back.
Sam Foster, 108 Teagle Drive, Brick. Question on number 12, let me see here now, the 14, the airport track bikeway expansion. Where can we get more information about what this is, about this subject here? Because this, I guess, is, I guess if we had a caucus meeting, we could go into this more in detail, but airport track bikeway expansion, this is going to be expanding the bikeway pass in Brick?
This is,
So,
14. From
Yeah.
Cherry Quay out.
would you like
this is
me
over
to
the-
answer?
in Cherry Quay?
Yes, so what we applied for in this particular grant is we wanted to prevent off-road vehicles in the airport track and make some improvements to the existing trail, so it's not an expansion. The grant was capped at $24,000. That's what we applied for labor, equipment, supplies, wood, bolts, et cetera. We received 24 with a proposed match of $6,000. Our in-house folks were able to do a lot more of the work than was estimated, and some of the items turned out to be ineligible. So by the time we deducted the ineligible items, the whole project cost came down to $12,000. So that's why we are.
Did you say that this was in the Cherry Quay section of Brick? I might have misunderstood you. I have a slight hearing loss, so I apologize.
Yes,
That's Cherry
correct.
Quay?
Yeah.
Now, I do have a question about this. Is there any sort of, I don't know who would answer it, you seem to be knowledgeable about this, Mrs. Bergen, but I have a big problem with bicyclists in town. And, as we know, Chambers Bridge Road, we had a lot of pedestrian deaths over the years. I live off of Chambers Bridge, so I actually drove past a couple of them. Bicyclists just don't know what they're doing. They don't understand. Now, when I remember back in my day when I took my driver's license test back in, well, 39 years ago, I'm feeling my age now. My age is hitting me now. But bicyclists had to obey the rules of the traffic just like a motor vehicle. And I've seen them cutting through red lights and stop signs in Brick, and they go on top of sidewalks, opposite direction traffic. Is there any kind of a public information that can be given out to inform bicyclists so they are less, a danger on the roads, and also to inform them about what they're doing, and also some type of a crackdown on them, because I've seen them doing things that have caused not major car accidents, but minor car accidents, like people have to slam on the brake and then they get rear-ended. I've seen that outside of Applebee's in Brick. I forgot what, I think that's Chambers Beach Road, where Best Buy is, that section there. And bicyclists, they, I don't mean to be harsh with them, because I know that it does save gas and everything, but they just seem to think that they have the right of way regardless of the situation, and they're really becoming a danger on the highways. I know that, I think it's Princeton Avenue, is a very nice wide bike path there, so that's, everybody knows you stay out of that. But it's just that some of them are just like a hazard. I don't mean to lump them all in there together, but some cyclists are just a hazard, and I don't know if this is something that should be discussed during the committee, or if we have Brick Township Penalty civilian committees to deal with this subject, or would that be the Traffic Commission committee, or?
Well, I can tell you that I'm not the committee part. The committee part, I don't know if anybody else wants to touch on, but our police officers, they actually pull bikers over, like during the day, bicycle riders, I mean, during the day, but even a lot at night, because at night, people drive around without lights on and without reflective clothing, so the officers, when they see different people driving down 870, 88, wherever they're riding, and the officers notice them, they pull them over and they kind of say, you can't be seen. You don't have anything reflective, no light, and they try to explain the situation.
Yep.
It's, they're supposed to be on the same side of the road with the traffic and everything. So they do that on a normal basis. I don't know how many tickets they write out, but I know that they have conversations with the people. But they could be writing tickets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
you can
keep track of that. But
ask Chief Riccio. I know that they have. We have drunk DWI crackdowns, checkpoints, and I don't know if the police can combine they're out with the radar guns looking for speeders. Maybe they could combine that to keep an eye out for cyclists that are doing things like riding on the sidewalks. I could have sworn, I know one citizen said that they're supposed to ride on the sidewalks, but I thought that they were supposed to ride with the traffic against the flow of traffic. I might be wrong about that, but they're supposed to ride with the flow of traffic on the road. I've seen them on the sidewalks practically running into people, and it's, like I said, it's becoming a hazard. Not all of them do it, but, just some type of a crackdown, or maybe a posting on the Facebook page, or maybe you can discuss this at your next Facebook Live event that you have, Mayor.
sure, if somebody asks.
All right, thank
I can
you.
try to ask the questions.
All right, thank you.
Whatever people ask.
Ms. Call?
Yes, I have Nan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. I have a couple of questions that I'd like a further explanation, but I'm going to build on Mr. Foster's for more information both ways. The bikeway traffic he mentioned. For years, I attended a meeting that was held up by an Ocean County engineer, the late Roden Lightbody, and it was called Older Americans Traffic Safety. And at every meeting, he would give us statistics about accidents. He explained, too, that Ocean County, one reason Ocean County had a high total of accidents was Ocean County has the greatest number of Garden State Parkway lanes. So that built up. But these days, most of the accidents are not there. And I have to also, it's something that's been on my mind for several months now, about the bicyclists, and I wholeheartedly support what Mr. Foster said. We need to get education out there for all of the residents, and we need some type of a vehicle, maybe another TV channel, that will educate about things like this. Yes, I know full well, especially my involvement with Oates. But before that, I read everything. I read fine print. And it is no longer motor vehicles. It is moving vehicles, which includes non-motorized, like bicycles. And all vehicles are supposed to move in the same direction. And yet, I came very close one night going up Van Zyl actually it's down Van Zyl, I guess, from Burnt Tavern toward 70 to hitting a guy on a bicycle because he was going against the traffic. On my side, if he had been with traffic, he would have been in the right lane, but this way, and two objects coming at any speed, no matter how slow the bicycle is an extremely dangerous situation. Not to mention, in all these years I'm here and that I've screened and carried on, nothing has been done to improve the lighting on Van Zyl or any other road, well, just in front of my house, near my house, but most of it, the lighting there on Van Zyl is absolutely horrible. The lanes are very narrow. They're one lane in each direction. There's no shoulder. Much of it doesn't have a sidewalk. And if they were driving on the sidewalk, which they do sometimes, that would be against the law, but who pays attention when you're not providing them? It's been over a year since then Vice President Heather DeYoung, I think she was Vice President, had meetings at Civic Plaza about making Brick more walkable and smart streets, and what has been done has made it worse and worse and worse. The planning department of Brick is absolutely a nightmare because nobody is doing long-range planning. When I worked, I didn't work in that field, but we had projects, 5-year projects, occasionally a 10-year project, and you planned ahead. There is a master plan for Brick that I supposedly was involved in, but I merely attended when Michael Fowler presented it. And if you read that master plan, nothing that has been done since it was drawn up, and it's time we had a new one, by law, had a new one, and nothing that was said has taken place except possibly behind the ShopRite Coles, where it is a multifunctional development and not an age-restricted, which it started out to be, and a whole bunch of nonsense there. I forget the exact words. So there's a lot of things that people in Brick are not educated about because nobody takes the time to ever educate them. And the bicyclist is something that really is an important thing. I also would like to know, where is there a map showing the airport tract? Because my perception is that the airport tract is not just one little place, it's not just here or there. And where would I find a map? Should be with the master plan that's has maps with it, but I don't recall it ever outlining exactly which. Most people know I live in Greenbrier 2. Greenbrier Boulevard is in Greenbrier 2. Greenbrier, which is now referred to as 1, is the boulevard, or boulevard, but Greenbrier Boulevard is in mine. Up from Greenbrier 2, on down again, I guess it's south, on Burnt Tavern Road, there is a section that when you travel that has a bicycle path. And I'm not sure, I think it might say Sawmill. I wouldn't dare try to ride a bicycle for years. I don't want my first broken bone, thank you very much. And is that part of the airport tract? Also, because I read fine print, I'm probably the only person in town at all, never mind in Greenbrier 2, who knows that there is a part of Greenbrier 2 that is defined as having been a landing field. Yes, I suspect that it is the huge common elements behind my home that has caused me great trauma and stress and has never been rectified, that's where the landing field was. So I would think that it also conforms to where the bicycle tract, airport tract is. The public safety uniforms, 4-9. Who is it that you awarded it to, and did you have any other bids?
Action Uniform Company, Egg Harbor Township. There were 12 bidders, 4 picked up bid packages.
I would like the name of the other 12 bidders. I think that it's all right to hear who you didn't pick.
Only 4 actually picked up packages. And
Okay,
one,
whatever ones
4, 9.
was submitted packages. If they picked it up and didn't submit it, that's another story.
Oh, hang on. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm on 410. Here we go. There were 2 bidders that were returned. Action Uniform Company, LLC, 3164 Fire Road, Egg Harbor Township, and R23K Incorporated, trading as American Uniform and Supply, Route 9 in Howell. That bid, the Action Uniform Company bid on every category. The other company bid on only certain categories. So that was why the chief asked to, or the deputy chief asked to go with Action Uniform Company, because all their categories are with one vendor, instead of saying, well, we get shirts from this guy and buttons from this guy and belts from this guy. It's all under one. So there were only 2 bidders.
And I will once again call your attention to that this is a caucus/public meeting, not just a public meeting. At the caucus meetings, which were a week apart from the public, and gave time for us to get all this, comment on it, talk about if we knew something, although it never does me any good in telling you that Jack Morris is a bad actor and has never fulfilled anything, and now again, we have him with the Food Town property, and we're going to go on for how many more years now before he follows through and delays it, when I believe that there is a time limit from when they're given something like that till they put a shovel in the ground, but that's never bothered Brick Township. So at caucus meetings, we would have heard this information in depth and all our questions answered. So thank you very much for how you have helped me. But this township administration and governance needs to redo their manner of holding meetings.
Thank you. Anyone else for comments on the resolution? The resolutions? Okay.
Good evening. Michael Dumas, 400 Adamston Road. I have a question about the food truck vendor, where the corn on the cob guy got the bid, and the other one was tossed out. You said there was a mistake made. Do we know what the mistake was in his package?
There are certain components
Or her
of a
package.
bid package. May I, Council?
Yeah, sure, go ahead, because
There are
you
certain
probably have it at your
components-
fingertips and I don't, so.
Well, I attend the bid openings and receive follow-up information on those. Memorandums are put together based on the submissions once they're reviewed by our purchasing department. So there are certain components in a bid specification that is considered a fatal flaw, such as if it was not a cashier's check, sometimes cashier's checks are required. Was it not signed? Was it not an original signature? So it's one of those components that are considered essential, and without it being provided, it's then considered a fatal flaw.
Understood. So if that person were to, a fatal flaw could be something like not making a postmark and trying to make the
It could-
postmark appear valid by
No, it
using
could
a
have
postal
been-
meter, or?
No, it could have been a personal check as opposed to a cashier's check.
Right.
They failed to sign the mandatory signature page, or the signature was a stamp as opposed to an original.
But if that person had made a fatal flaw in a package and had just called in casually 4 or 5 times to change it, it wouldn't be allowed, right?
No.
Okay, that was my only.
There are some flaws that can be fixed if they're minor, but there are some that affect the competitive nature of the bidding process, and those are fatal because it would undermine the bidding process to allow someone later to change their bid.
I agree with you. I was just looking for clarification that if a person wanted to change that package 5 times without really resubmitting it, that probably wouldn't fly, right?
If it was a fatal flaw at the bid opening, it's a fatal flaw. It cannot be later repaired.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you.
And that's set by state law, correct? State statute?
That is state
Okay.
statute. That is not our town ordinances.
Thank you. Anyone else on the resolutions? Mr. Finelli?
Vic Finelli, Meadow Point Drive. I just had a question about number 2. If I read it right, we're doing $8.5 million in capital improvements, putting up 5% of that, $425,000, and bonding $8,075,000. Am I good so far?
Sounds good.
Okay. My question is, I know you only have to put up 5%, but is that the best we can do?
This is what we are doing temporarily until the bond ordinances are approved. They're just being introduced tonight, and they have to go through the cycle of approval.
Yeah.
So this is the temporary measure to get that process underway.
Okay. What does that $8,075,000 do to the overall debt, which we're always talking about going down?
The numbers that the mayor had given at the budget presentation include the anticipation of, and you asked me this question last year, include the anticipation of $8.5 million in capital investment.
You
for this
remember
year.
what I asked you last year?
I
'Cause
do.
I don't.
I remember that
So-
one.
So back in the day, I mean, besides they did a lot of big projects like Traders Cove. They would spend probably about $10 million in capital projects. And that was like maybe, that it doesn't include Traders Cove. They always separated it. So the Traders Cove was added, the landfill, the big projects, I said, well, that's not really capital budget, that was separate. So I put an end to that. And I only wanted to do $8.5 million instead of the 10 they were doing. So that's why I promised to lower our debt $1.5 million a year, because I was only spending 8.5 instead of 10. But then what we do is when debt retires, we don't re-spend that either. That's another process that used to happen in the past. So it'd be coming off the books because they're paying it off from something they bonded 5, 10, 15 years ago, and they would spend that money again, saying, well, that's not new money, that's already money that was borrowed. But no, you're borrowing it again. So the 8.5 is what we're doing. This is our 6th year of doing $8.5 million capital budgets.
And if I understood what you said, the $8.5 million is included in the number that the mayor said when we went down this much?
Yes, the anticipation of that
Okay.
commitment was part of his presentation.
I can live with that. Thank you.
Anyone else on the resolutions? Mr. Scott?
George Scott. I have a question on number 2 also. When the business administrator started out here, I had a meeting with her, and previously we used to bond for minute items, several $100s and whatnot. But with the amount of the budget that we have, and it's not small, even though this is a capital budget. Number 7, tree planting, $10,250, of which you're going to bond $9,737. This can't be put in a line item not to be borrowing money on?
Is that the total amount of that item? So these are only partial. This is only part of these figures that are in this. This is the question that I asked Maureen last week about the, not on the capital, but on the resolution. So those are just partial appropriations on that resolution?
That's correct. And I was looking for the line items.
Oh, for the tree plantings? I'm not 100% sure, Mr. Scott, but I believe that's part of a larger tree project. That's just, these are just like starting amount so Maureen can set up the appropriations.
But this is the temporary capital budget. You're going to come out with another capital budget before the year's end? over the 8.5 million? The mayor just said it's going to be a total of 8.5 million.
There's
more to the project. How could it only be part of if the number's 8.5 million?
The expenditure in the capital budget is $10,250.
Right.
Right, so that is the amount that we expect to expend in the tree replacement this year, which is in capital. We have made some changes to how our department heads make budget requests. There is a threshold that they were advised to put into their operating budget, and the one side of that was they were afraid it was going to fluctuate too much each year. If they threw in something that was only a one-time expenditure, it would look like a large percent increase, but we opted to do that and explain it may look like a bigger than usual increase, but we are purchasing X as opposed to putting it in the capital. So we have made that change, but 10,000, I don't recall off the top of my head what minimum we set for them, but a $10,000 tree replacement really fell outside what parks could fund without capital assistance.
But again, my point, you're actually going to borrow or bond $9,700 for the trees. What you're saying is you couldn't put this anywhere else in a line item, not to borrow this money, which you're going to be paying interest on. It's incorporated in the borrowing cost of the notes of issuance. And number three, it's got to be part of that $150,000. It just adds up for, again, a very small item.
Well, it's a one-time item. It's a one-time project, so the thought was it's a capital expenditure when you make a one-time, investment, and we have made some modifications to bring things into the operating budget for that very reason. So this is just
Okay.
one that,
Is that for the Christmas tree out front?
it's for two different line items related to trees. One is for the holiday tree, and the other is for other
So
trees
they're gonna
around town
take the
hall.
tree out front and put another tree in.
Okay. My other question is, what was wrong with having 15 and 16 on tonight? It seemed that all the paperwork was submitted for the licensing.
There were some questions about the license renewals, and we asked for more information from the police department on incidents at various establishments.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So we thought it best to hold it over until we have all the information.
Okay.
Anyone else? Sir? Certainly.
Jason Carey, 233 Cherry Quay Road. We're just wondering what the improvements made to Cherry Quay Road. Are we going to get a bike lane as well?
You want me to answer?
Sure.
Okay. No, Cherry Quay Road is county road, as I'm sure you know. The county, I talk about it a lot, so the county does not like bike lanes. They only have two in the entire Ocean County. They have one, which is Long Beach Boulevard, which is an LBI, and then we are lucky enough to have one because we have Princeton Avenue, and they will never install another one because I always ask for Maniloking Road and Drum Point Road because people can get to the beach, we can expand it, and they're like, never again. They're nightmares for them, and the engineer said that as long as he's there, they will never do a bike lane in Ocean County, on a county road.
Who's responsible for mowing the sides of Cherry Quay? I've been doing it for 22 years, and I also pick up all the litter on Cherry Quay Road. And the poke this time of year grows right into the street. The kids at my corner have to walk in the street to come around the most dangerous turn in Cherry Quay. There's been 200 car accidents in Cherry Quay since 2000, and many of them fatal, many of them hit and run, a lot of them involving bicycles and pedestrians. How do we offer our citizens more safety on that street?
As far as who maintains it, you'd have to call code enforcement, and they would go out and cite if somebody somebody lets their property go. So, for example, we just got complaints about Princeton, again, going back to Princeton Avenue, a lot of backs of people. I know it's not that in Cherry Quay, it's the front. So usually people take care of the front, but they forget about their backs. And Maniloking Road and Princeton, we got complaints about Princeton, so I know code enforcement's going out there over the next 10 days to tell people, to remind them they have to cut the back of their house. And sometimes it's hard to get to because they're nowhere near. But as far as Cherry Quay, as far as safety, it's anything with the safety is the police department that's public safety.
The corner I'm talking about is a easement for the MUA. It's on the right-hand side, just as you go past the baseball field around the big turn. The poke is in the road. I go over there and I chop it back, but a month later, it's in the road. Should I call the MUA to see if that's there?
Yeah, you can call the MUA yourself or call code enforcement, and They'll call the MUA. I mean, however you want to handle it, it's up to you.
Mayor.
Yep.
Thank you. Anyone else on the resolutions? Seeing none, close, did I miss somebody? No. Close public, roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 419, bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $14,664,950.30.
Thank you. Open to council for questions.
Yes, I have a few, if nobody does.
Councilman Fosman?
Page 1, we have air systems maintenance. We're paying them $137,200. And I thought what was replaced? What heat pumps? Was that one job or is that several jobs?
This was funded in the 2018 capital. There are 27 total heat pumps. We at this point have done 16 of the 27.
Oh, okay, okay. And also page 6, it says Bill Leary, HVAC, $11,150. Do we replace some units at the Civic Plaza? Is that what that was for?
Yes.
Is that
on
one
the
unit or two?
Rooftop.
Yeah, rooftop.
Units.
Is that one or two?
I would have to check on that for you.
Oh, just 11,000. Have all those been replaced up there or just a few?
We cycle them, so we don't have to do the expenditure of all at once. So we try to spread it out over each year, address a different rooftop
Did it all at
unit.
once, we could put it on the capital, no? Okay, page 11. Concord Engineering. It says solar field, it's for $4,018, electric. I don't know what Concord Engineering Group did.
So what they did is they met with JCP&L, and township representatives were there as well, to discuss the option of having Brick Standard Solar Field provide electric generated directly to the township and the MUA accounts via aggregated net metering.
Do we have to use them every time to, when we deal with standard alternative?
No, but we, the council, via, resolution authorized Concord Energy to be its energy consultant, so that is who we use until that contract expires.
So there's, how much a year do we pay Concord Engineering Group all year long for the solar field that we're supposed to get electric from?
Well, we pay them as our energy consultant, so the solar field is only one portion of what we consult with them on, and their contract for the year was a total of $12,000.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Page 15, Garden State Office Systems, one-year service agreement, $3,337. Building and grounds. Can you tell me what that is?
That's for the Electriva downstairs. That keeps the permits, if you've ever been down there. And you
Oh,
see-
yeah, I've seen
yes,
that.
That's called Electriva.
So we have a service, is that a warranty or just agreement for them to fix it if anything goes wrong?
Yes, we have two, so, and they're
And
in
they're
high
both,
use.
sorry, go
They're
on.
both downstairs in land use.
And they're both under this contract?
Correct.
That's all I have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else from council? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumalo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to public on the computer bill resolution. Mr. Scott?
When it comes to money, I always have questions. I also had a question on page 1 about the pumps. That was already answered, so I appreciate that from the business administrator. Page 11, to follow up Councilman Fosmans on this Concord Engineering, the $12,000 annually, since they are your advisor, is this the group that's going to help get us out of that horrendous deal with Standard Alternative?
Ms. Vernick?
That was the intent of the meeting with JCP&L, to pursue aggregated net metering, which would benefit us.
Okay.
Yes.
And then are they going to follow it through for the rest of the year? I mean, I guess my question is, when will we see some finality?
Well, this was a very productive meeting with JCP&L, who has only recently, the BPU has advised utility companies that they have to do a certain percentage or more net metering projects. So we now have an engaged partner, and we're
Okay.
hoping to have resolution sometime in 2019.
19, that's terrific. The next line item down, Connor Strong and Bucklew, $9,200 renewal of marina policy. Do we get any other quotes? I mean, just recently, there hasn't been a lot of flattering things in the newspapers about, you know.
Aren't they part of the GIF? So with that,
That's part of the same contract we have with the GIF.
do we go out to bid for that? For the,
To
through-
participate in the joint insurance fund, yes, we do.
Okay.
So this is part of our contract that we have with the Ocean County GIF, to provide us insurance services. This is a subgroup of that that's.
Okay, so you don't really pick them. JIF picks them and you just pay.
Right,
You
that's
pay-
correct.
It's more or less a pass-along.
Correct.
Okay. Page 16, Henry Mancini, $24,020 for storm damage easement. I called today, tried to find out a little bit more about this. This is still going on with Sandy. I thought we had gotten all our monies that we were going to get. We're still paying bills from 2013. What's taking so long? I mean, 6 years later, we're still doing storm damage?
Yeah, we have him for.
Henry Mancini works, he's an appraiser, and he appraises properties that are subject of a taking as a result of the beach replenishment project up at the beach. I'm fairly confident his fees are reimbursed to us by the DEP, if that's correct, because it is a DEP project, but they are expended by us, and then we get reimbursed for those fees.
Okay.
It's the same with the,
You said you think. Is it a yes or is it a no?
yes, that is correct.
It is reimbursed. I don't care at that point then. Page 20, McManion, Scotland, and Bauman, Foodtown redevelopment project. As Nan Cole brought up before, Foodtown keeps going on and on and on. I asked the question at the last meeting, we're waiting for permits, this and that. It's only a $936 bill, but I understood when the suit was finalized that all of these costs, whether they be engineering, legal, whatever, that the two people that are going to participate are going to pay these. When do we get reimbursed for this, or are we getting reimbursed as each bill comes?
These costs are, this is our legal counsel's doing work on reciprocal easements on that property that's necessary for the project that do bring a benefit to the township.
Okay, then maybe I was misled. I understood from something that the mayor had said previously that we aren't going to incur any more cost once you reach the deal, that anything that came forward, we would be reimbursed for. So why do we even still have to keep paying this then?
I believe what the mayor said was the cost of this project, the permitting and things for the project are paid for by the developers, not by us. But this is work that's being done for the township,
Okay.
by the township professionals.
So what are they doing for us? I mean, I thought this was resolved.
This specific bill is for the purpose of a reciprocal easement on the property that provides for public access into the property.
It's necessary to close.
Say that again?
It's necessary to have these reciprocal easements in place prior to closing, prior to the sale of the property, because there's two halves and they have to each access both sides, and that
Okay,
has to
but
be
are
through
we
a
not
permanent
are we
easement.
not doing this easement for the benefit of the developers?
It's
benefit?
a requirement of the closing to have these easements in place as part of the sale.
So they are not going to compensate us for this, is what you're saying?
don't believe this is compensable by the developers. This is,
Okay. Again, we keep taking a hit on that. The last one I'll let go. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on the bills? Seeing none, close public, roll call.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain CME, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mamalo.
Abstain up Meridian Occupational Health, and yes to the rest.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Council President, this seems to be a little problem. Can I speak to the attorney a second?
Councilman Fosman?
Yes. Mr. Starkey, on Resolution 6 and Resolution 14, Councilwoman DeYoung's fiance works for CME, and she's voting for his contracts because he worked on that. Shouldn't she be abstaining on that?
Resolution
6 and 14.
The Bayside Park improvements,
If you look at the resolution, they're named in it, CME.
well, these are not awards to CME. These are awards to contractors. Actually, 14 is a change order without any expense, but 6 is an award
It says
to...
the consulting engineer for the project, CME Associates, is hereby authorized to prepare final bid sheet specifications and on.
Right, okay. Then it's not even an award, it's just authorizing receipt of bids for that project. This does not confer any benefit upon CME, so there's not any conflict in a vote on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, are we at 420?
Mhm.
Okay, 420, manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $24,576.43.
Thank you. Open to council for questions? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumalo, second by Council Vice President Crate. Open to public?
I do have a question. That's a very small manual bill resolution. I guess nobody's getting paid in the town.
Any other questions?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Anything from public? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain CME, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, ordinances on first reading. There is no public hearing on the first reading. Item 5.1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 145-6 of the Township Code to extend the time for the waiver of fees for construction to promote the renovation of existing vacant commercial structures.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you. So back in 2015, we started this program, and it was in place, and we renewed it again. When I say we, the council renewed it again in July of 2017, and it's really helps out business owners who are starting businesses to renovate an existing vacant commercial property. Unfortunately, as we all know, planners, however many years ago in Brick, we have shopping centers on every county road, state road, so when we have a lot of those in town. So when the kind of economy went in the tank, unfortunately, a lot of those strip malls ended up with some vacancies in it, and it would be a good program to start. And it was, it's been very, very successful. I've actually been asked to speak. Stockton College had me down there, and a bunch of other places because of the program. We're the first ones to do it in New Jersey, and what it does is it waives the fees for businesses that take over an empty spot, so it has to be empty for at least a year. And it's not for the big ones. So, for example, a big store comes in like At Home, they still have to pay. It's because we want the mom and pops and things like that, the smaller ones. So it has to be under 5,000 square feet. It has to be empty for at least a year, and the governmental fees from the town are waived. We couldn't get the state and the county and other people to join us, but we do it. We can do what we can do for business owners. It's been successful. We've had 21 new businesses open, everything, yoga studios, donut shops, music schools, florists, bakeries, all sorts of things. So thank you for putting it on the agenda to renew it again, and hopefully we can fill up the last few we have here in town.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Council Vice President Crate. Open to council for questions. Seeing none, close council. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
I think this is great. I voted on this before to keep it for small business. I was a small business owner. I think it's a good thing to get more people going in town. I know what it is. I vote yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes, I
Coun-
did vote before, yes, too, before.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank
We
you.
all
Okay, item 5.2.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 288 of the Township Code of the Township of Brick to designate a portion of Eastview Drive as a one-way street.
Thank you. The Township Engineer and the Police Traffic Safety Unit have recommended that Eastview Drive and Reservation Row be added to the Township Ordinance, Section 288, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 16, One-Way Streets, Schedule 41. Last fall, the Engineering Department received a resident complaint regarding the intersection of Tall Timber Drive and Eastview Drive in Eagle Point with a request that a stop sign be installed. Traffic Safety investigated and provided a report that indicated the roads are very narrow with a 9-foot paved surface. The angle of the intersection is acute. The intersection is obstructed by overgrown vegetation, and the intersection is at the top of a hill with a grade change further limiting sight distances. Traffic Safety endorsed the one-way recommendation on the basis that, in addition to improving safety, the limited pavement surface of 9 feet in width meets the residential site improvement standards classification of a one-way alley. Since Traffic Safety issued the report, engineering inspectors had several opportunities to evaluate the intersection and to speak with residents and association representatives. Based on the angle of the intersection, the changes in grade, and the limited sight distance, engineering supports Traffic Safety's recommendation to make Eastview Drive and Reservation Row a one-way street. Township professionals speculate that this is how the circulation was intended when the development was first established. We have a motion and a second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to council for questions.
Was this reviewed by any committee at all, or just by the police and just by complaint from one citizen?
Didn't come to public safety, as you well know. Did it go to land use,
No.
Councilman Mumolo? No.
So just a police recommendation?
Police recommendation, the engineers went out, and they also talked with residents in the association.
And traffic safety.
Okay.
Please.
Yes, traffic safety.
Yes. Sorry, my fault.
Okay. So, any other comments from council? Seeing none, close council. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Item 5.3.
An ordinance providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions in and by the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,506,314, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,430,999 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. Mrs. Bergen?
Sure. So I'll give the following explanation that will cover all of the bond ordinances as opposed to repeating for each one. It's a generic, it's a general comment on the ordinances.
Yes, please.
The following ordinances reflect the expected useful life of a variety of capital items for all township departments totaling $8.5 million, which is consistent with the capital budget approved by this council for the past 5 years. The budget started at over $25 million, but was reduced and prioritized by the various department heads, including police, engineering, Parks, Recreation, Public Works, and IT. Highlights of the proposed capital requests include 1 new automated garbage truck, 1 rear loader, 1 single-axle dump truck, and a bucket truck for DPW. Remaining vehicles for the fleet are included for the township's inspectors, IT, and code enforcement officers. The commitment to safety continues with ballistic glaze barriers budgeted for the tax collector's office and the land use department. These improvements mirror what's been done in the clerk's office. The budget also includes equipment needed to provide for a senior services outreach office at Civic Plaza, enabling the township seniors to have access to services on both sides of town. Roads scheduled to be constructed are those already designed and ready to build. Those projects include Broward Drive and Cranberry Grove Road, North Lake Shore Drive, Lawrence Drive, and continuation of the township's isolated streets program, including part of Midstreams, Beverly Beach, and Old Silverton Road. The engineering department will also continue with the microservicing program. Laurelhurst and Glenbridge Estates will also be completed this year. The capital budget also includes funds for the design of 2020 roadway improvements, including Bay Harbor Phase 1, Sinclair Estates Phase 2, and part of Parkway Pines. The replacement of the synthetic fields at Drum Point Sports Complex is also scheduled this year. The municipal building roof will be replaced this year. In terms of drainage projects, reconstruction is scheduled at the Duquesne Boulevard intersection, and drainage improvements on Parish Drive, Brentonian Drive, Millbrook Road, Tilford Boulevard, Stuyvesant Road, and Rochester Drive. Funding is in place for the design and permitting for the Channel Drive bulkhead. Funds are also allocated for the dredging master plan and upland planning analysis, overall concrete repairs, and road work in the Bretton Woods section via a shared service agreement with the MUA, who is completing a water main replacement. In terms of sports organizations, the drainage project at the senior field is budgeted for Brick American. Parking lot improvements at Pinewood Park is budgeted for Brick Township Soccer Association, and replacing the scoreboard on the 60-90 and 40-60 fields is included for Brick Little League.
Thank you. Motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Council Vice President Crate. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, item 5.4, the bond ordinances go by the useful life of the items on them. So the one we just did was 5-year life. We're now on to bond ordinance 7-year life. Madam Clerk?
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions in and by the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $489,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $464,550 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to council for questions or comments.
Yes, I have one question. On all these ordinances right here, since we're not earmarking any of the money for any certain things, you're just reading the list, they can always be changed, am I correct?
Necessarily, it can, their useful life is very defined. So when we identify projects, this all goes to our auditor and our financial advisor to be sure we are assigning the project in the correct expected useful life. So to switch over a project has to be carefully done to ensure that it's within the expected useful life. So for example, if we were to get a grant to do one of the roads that we were planning to do, and it wasn't a reimbursable grant, for some reason it was an upfront grant, we would like to pick another road. Since we had the money, as long as we picked a road that was resurfacing, we could make a change to the capital budget.
Yeah, so it's not earmarked for anything. Can we earmark certain things so it's locked in, or it's not feasible to do that? Just in case something happens, we can make a change. Is that why this is like this?
Well, we have a capital budget document,
I have it right
which
here.
you have, and that is our roadmap for what we intend to do for next year.
But it can always be changed. Technically, if it fits in the 5-year, 7-year, 15-year, 10-year.
There's a
It could fit
process
in
in
there.
place, so if you're underspent somewhere, you want to take advantage and use that money, but this is how we guide all of our action going forward. That's how the department heads, once this is approved and money's ready to spend, they will spend in accordance with what is outlined in the capital budget document.
Because in the past, we started projects and it just seems like there wasn't enough money to finish a project, and then we have to wait for the following year to get the rest of the money to do it. That's why.
And
I'm
that
just
does
saying.
happen, so if that happens, that's not that unusual when we do large-scale projects and costs come in higher than expected. We would put that money to the side and then the next year bridge the difference like we did at the canopies at DPW to get the project done.
But isn't our engineer supposed to give us an estimate so we get real close to it, so we're estimating, let's say a building's going to be put up, it's going to be $1 million, and the engineer says, oh, it's going to be 1.2, so we figured we'd save 1.2. But if it doesn't come in at that, it comes in at 1.4, because their estimate was off, we're going to be kind of out there. Isn't it what our engineer is supposed to do, really know what the costs are and everything to do that?
Yeah, and it does happen sometimes in more complicated projects or something unexpected, and the market fluctuates greatly, and it all depends on when you go out to bid and where the prices come in. So it's not
Okay.
always error, it's just the market.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Closed council, roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 5.5, bond ordinance, 10-year life.
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions in and by the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3,489,635, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,315,153 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumalo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to council. Seeing none, closed council. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 5.6, bond ordinance, 15-year life.
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions in and by the township in the County of Ocean, or Township of Brick, in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3,015,051, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,864,298 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumalo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to council. Seeing none, closed council. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ordinances on second reading. 6.1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, vacating a portion of the right-of-way known as Iroquois Drive.
Thank you. Councilman Mumalo?
This ordinance vacates a portion of a township-owned right-of-way on Iroquois Drive. The vacation request was reviewed and approved by the council's Land Use Committee. The resident who submitted the vacation request purchased property on both sides and intends to consolidate 3 lots to build a home. The property is in the Cedar Croft section. There is no public access at this location. Property owner needs a CAFR permit, and the BTA needs an easement to access the utility. There are requirements on the vacation. As requested, applicant provided a meets and bounds description.
Thank you. Motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumalo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to council.
Yes, I have some questions on it. I have I went out to visit the site, and I also went down to our building department to get some papers here. And the property that's there, what's actually happened is, so everybody understands, that Iroquois is a dead-end street. As you can see right here, I'll hold this up. This is the dead end right here. This is the road that they want to vacate. This guy owns this property, and this property. He needs this here to connect all 3. That's what's going on. And for me, I'm going to ask the attorney, this property to me is worth some money. It's the township's property. It's your money. It's your property. You're the township. You're the people of the town. So I think this is worth some money, connecting all 3 of these properties. We're not getting any money for this at all.
Never do.
So I'm going to ask the attorney if we can get money for this.
We never do.
Well, first of all, the property is not township property. The property actually underlying that belongs to the property owner, as, you know, because property owners always own the land under the roadways up to the center line. The township has, it's sort of an easement for use of that property as a road.